Hi, everybody. How is everybody this evening? Oh, I know that you're all well, and it's really good to have you here this evening. The first thing I'm going to do, well, wait a minute. I usually say explain who I am. I'm what's known as the Joy Guide, also known as the gatekeeper for the medium. It's my job to keep her safe when she's entranced, to only allow those people in to speak through her who will be harmonious with her vibration and the vibration of the circle. So I am a very important person. But the first thing I am going to do this evening is get every one of you a healer to be with you for the evening. And if you know someone that you would like to have special healing sent to, please just ask your healer to also heal them as the evening goes through, as they are healing you. And they can do that because everything's possible when you're in spirit. So one moment, I'm going to get your healers to step up. All right, the healers are with you for this evening. And now I'm going to get Ron Carhol by our speaker, as he is on most nights. One moment. Good evening. It is I, Ron Carr. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. There has been much chaos going on in your lives. It perhaps is not personal chaos, although that is a distinct possibility with the aspects that are currently astrologically taking place at this time. It is a big time of stirring of the pot, so to speak, and making changes. And many people don't like change. They try to stop change in your life. But you must understand that change is normal when you are in the physical world. Nothing stays the same. Babies come into this world and they do not stay babies. They inevitably grow. Of course, there are some which might be defective in some way or get an illness, and perhaps they make their transitions early, but essentially the majority of babies which come into the world continue to grow and turn into adults quite easily, just over a number of years. And of course, you change into an adult and you become older and older until you turn into an elderly person. And your thoughts, your ideas that you have during this evolution of life, from the youngest beginnings, the infancy, what you know of the world and what you experience of the world and what you think you know of the world slowly grows, and your understanding grows. And when you reach that part of being termed elderly, you have reached a point of usually understanding many more things in your life, taking things in stride more easily, for you see, have already learned about the evolution of life as you know it, that things that happen sometimes cause you great distress, and they always ameliorate, and they change, and it becomes something that is in your past, which no longer is stressful, but you have adjusted or changed your thinking, or you have found solutions. For life is an evolutionary process, and you yourself grow over the years. And this is the blessing of old age. You have perspective to look at what's going on in your life and see that it will probably not be the same in a few years. Things that seem distressing will simply stop to be distressing, or either they will become normal, or you will have adjusted to them, or you will have made changes with them, either within yourself or in the circumstances around these distressing times in your life. And so you look back and you see the history of your life, what you have done, how you have changed, what you have become. And you know that you are still in the process of becoming, because it is not possible for you to stop becoming. Oh, you may think that there is a time, so you become ill or you develop Alzheimer's, which is a memory problem. And so your mind will not be able to remember and think of things. However, you are still living a life. You still are relating to the circumstances around you. And while you may not have the benefits of history for you to look at things and keep them in perspective, you will still have that opportunity to grow over the new situation. And while each day may bring with it totally new experiences, because you have forgotten everything that you experienced, in that day, there is still growth. So that every day still becomes a day for you to grow and change. And you become, in these circumstances, extremely accepting of life, or most people do. Yes, sometimes it brings about a restlessness, and it's got a bevy of problems that come with it. And that is for others to take care of in your life. For you yourself will only know what you are experiencing. You will be living totally within the now, which is actually what you strive to do all your life. To be in the now, for the now is the only thing that you can experience and that you have control over. That which has happened in the past cannot be changed. You can continue to have anxiety or frustration or anger over things in your past, but these things and these emotions may not serve you. And so it is better to stay in the now and forget about the past. And the future, of course, has not come and will not come. And if you are reached that point of old age in which you have Alzheimer's, the tomorrow never comes. All you are in the now. It is the perfect place to be, for this is what you are experiencing. You can only experience the now. You can worry about the future. You can meditate, think about, be frustrated about the past. You have hopes for the future. But it's only the now that you can experience. And so you might look at Alzheimer's as a blessing, for it keeps you in the now. People in the now are not upset by their past. They do not worry about their future. They enjoy the moment and act and speak and are in the moment now. This is a blessing in life, for you are freed from your past, and you are also freed from the future. But you can make the best of your now. And so it is my recommendation to you in this evening that as this new year begins, you do not worry or feel anxiety or frustration, fear, unhappiness over the past, anger. Let it go. And live in the now, knowing that the best is here now. And so, with this thought, enjoy this time period that we have together, or in this now, you have the opportunity to ask me questions, which I may bring answers, which have a different perspective and a different way of thinking. and perhaps you have thought about your questions. So, does anyone have any question about what I've spoken or other questions you would like to ask?
Ronco, I heard something interesting. I don't know if it was from Abraham or whomever, it might have been Abraham, that people have Alzheimer's because it's a way for them to pull from this earthly experience. In other words, you're leaving people behind. And I just wanted your perspective if it's also that you manifest that in order to leave loved ones behind. Thank you.
It is a very interesting question. I must think about that answer for just a moment. Will you please be patient? While it is an interesting perspective that perhaps people have developed Alzheimer's so that they forget about the people in their lives and the fact that they must leave them, I rather doubt that that is truly a correct explanation. The physical body is imperfect in many ways. And the answer that you have provided or that someone else provided to you, if it gives comfort to you, that is fine for you to keep that in mind. But I do not believe that most people desire to leave prematurely those that they live by forgetting them and forgetting about many of the things in their lives. But those people who do develop Alzheimer's, who develop extreme debilitating illnesses which require perhaps round-the-clock care of people who are cognitive, these people are acting in service to others. For many people like to give and want to help. And by allowing the feebleization of the body or the mind to manifest in your life is almost a form of service, for it allows other people to give service to you. If you think about it, many people love to help. They love to give advice. They like to tell you what to do and how you should live your life and the way things would improve if you followed their words. Now, this is not always helpful with someone who is Alzheimer's, for their ability to think is much impaired. This is just a physical development within the body that has taken place. And so it is almost part of the normal aging process. Not everyone manifests Alzheimer's or dementia as part of their old age, but it does happen. And if you continue to live with this dementia or Alzheimer's, you are giving service to others because you are allowing them to be of service to you and to earn credit, so to speak, for good works and good intentions. So I do not exactly agree with that which has been said, that these people are trying to distance themselves from their loved ones. I believe this is more a physical aspect of the physical realm, that things do not happen physically. There is deterioration in the physical body before people pass on, die. And this happens with animals also. And as such, these animals, though, cannot take care of themselves. And while they may have assistance from other animals, if it happens to be social type of animal which lives in a group. The other types who live alone do not experience someone helping them, and so they quickly deteriorate even faster on the physical plane until they leave the body fully, and because the body can no longer sustain life when it is not properly taken care of. So, but this happens to all species on the physical plane. And if you look at it that way, that the aging and the debilitation of the body are just a natural part of the changes that occur on the physical plane, perhaps it will be less distressing for yourself. Are there other questions?
Based on what you just said, how does that relate to us supposedly creating our own problems in our body?
I'm sorry, the volume is quite low on your voice, so would you just repeat the very end of it?
How does that relate to us creating our own physical problems in our bodies?
I see what you are saying. Yes, you do tend to create your own illnesses and your own physical problems in your body by how you relate to life. And it is very possible that a desire to not be in touch with your family members or friends, perhaps you are feeling isolated and alone, and this thought makes you more isolated and alone. Yes, that is what happens. Sometimes, particularly for those people for whom this type of aging or disability manifests at an earlier age, that this is the result of thinking. Many illnesses are the result of thinking, but when your body is healthy, in spite of the fact you have manifested an illness, or that you have broken your arm or your leg and caused yourself some difficulties in that area, and even things like knees and hips, which need to be replaced. These can all be indications of thoughts and ideas that you have about life or what is going on in your life that causes the manifestation of that disability or difficulty in your life. And of course, by treating it, as you can do so well with modern medical science, you can get a new hip or a new knee, or you take antibiotics or get vaccines, that these things help your body recover. And when you take these actions to heal yourself, you are also taking the action that heals your mind in this area, so that you can move beyond the illness you have created. So a manifestation in the physical body is often the result of your thought, but in curing that manifestation, you are also dealing with the situation in your thought and in your mind and perhaps in your life, because simply by becoming sick, you alter the circumstances around you. By needing surgery or replacement of things, surgery to repair things in your body, this causes an interruption of whatever has been going on. And it gives you opportunity to heal yourself. So I hope that answer is clear for you. Does it make sense?
Okay, I think so. I was just kind of under the impression that everything that we created or everything that happened in our bodies, that we created that reality, not that it may be just happening for no reason.
Well, it is true, you created it. But it is part of the normal aging process. You were going to have a malfunction, or slowly your body will be less able to repair itself and maintain itself as it ages. You have not seen anyone who has escaped old age into infinite youth. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
And so you are looking both part of the normal aging process. However, you still have the opportunity to remain very viable as you age. And while certain things will move away from you, from the physical body, you will lose certain abilities. You certainly will not run like the wind as you may have done when you were 12, but it does not mean that you are in poor health. There are many changes that have happened to you right along the way. And these changes do not mean that something is wrong with your body. It is merely a change that has happened.
So do we kind of choose how we want to deteriorate?
No, not consciously.
Okay.
Usually what you choose is to be healthy. And so if that is what you choose, you take the actions which you know continue to keep you to be healthy. You eat properly, you exercise to some degree or another, and you perhaps get your flu shot every year, and you get the other vaccines that are available to yourself to stop yourself from being prey to an opportunistic infection. And when you stop yourself by taking vaccines and precautions against things happen to you, you usually are clarifying your thought and your actions at the same time to keep yourself healthy. It is only people who are so busy being angry or upset over the past, who are worried about the present or worried about the future. These people bring on illnesses for themselves more quickly than those people who let go of unhappiness and concentrate in the now, keeping themselves happy and doing the things that they find are rewarding for themselves in some way or another. For some people, it may mean working, continuing to earn money so that they can be comfortable in life. For others, it may be recreational things that they do or hobbies they pick, that they take, that they enjoy and they do. So it does not matter. Yes, you are creating your life. And if something is going wrong in your body, it is a good indication that perhaps something needs to change in your mind and how you are thinking about your current life and the situations in your life. And if you are actively being unhappy or worried or anxious or stressed over these situations, you are creating the environment for your body to deteriorate. But if you can let go of these things, if you can be confident that everything is going to work out all right, if you do not worry, you do not experience stress, and you do not experience anxiety because you are in the moment only, you will experience greater health.
Okay. Like the song, don't worry, be happy.
Excellent. Yes. Don't worry, be happy.
Okay.
And then
Thank you.
you'll have a good life.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Are there other questions?
Hi, can you hear me?
Needs to pump up the volume.
Can you please raise your volume? Perhaps this.
Can you hear me
this-
now?
I can just barely hear you.
I'm not
Can you
sure
check
how
the
to work.
volume? I'm sorry, say again.
I'm trying. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Agnes.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I am good, thank you.
Okay. So the mess that we are in as a country, are we going to get out of it anytime soon?
I got the beginning part. The message is, I didn't understand it. And then are we going to get out of it soon? So what was in the middle that I could not hear?
The mess that the country is in.
Must the
Oh, the
country-
mess the country is in. Well, are you going to get out of it soon? Oh, the answer is no.
Oh,
Oh, what do you wish to have happen? Can you completely forget about the problems and the difficulties that happened yesterday and the day before and the last few days? Are you going to carry them with you? If you carry them with you, then certainly it will take quite a while until you let go of them for you to adjust to the new circumstances. So how could I give you a different answer? If there are millions of people who are unhappy with the election and they carry this unhappiness with them, they are not letting any possibility of things to settle down into a normal way. Their unhappiness and their anger, annoyance, and stress that they are creating for themselves, expecting the worst. Let us be honest about it. There are people who have been saying that terrible things will be happening if Mr. Biden is elected president. And there are other people who say that there are wonderful things that will happen if Mr. Biden is president. And you have your personal opinions as to what is best for your country and how to achieve the greatest amount of happiness and good in your country. And it is your unhappiness with what will be going on that will cause this to last a long time for you. And so it is entirely up to you. How long do you want this to last? If you want it to return to normal and be happy, you have to drop your unhappiness over yesterday or the day before or last week or the election. And you have to work on only living in the now the best life possible for yourself. For everyone who accepts what is now and who embraces the thought that this new president, the new administration is going to create the best that it can for the United States, then they will see the actions that will help the United States and everyone in the country. And they can feel good about what is happening. But if they continue to think that the new administration is not going to do things and that all the actions they take are bad for the country, then they will react with the tension and unhappiness within themselves. And that is what they will experience. So are things going to suddenly become good on the 21st or the 20th of January? Things will not change at all. It is only up to you to change how you react to the situation, to enable this to pass behind you and to make the best of the opportunities that are provided in every day. I
okay,
hope that's helpful.
somewhat.
Perhaps
you.
not the answer you wish to hear.
Well, I hope our president is still going to be our president, but that's just another day altogether.
You
But
will have a different president later in the month.
Uh,
And he will still be your president.
what's going to happen with how are we going to stop it so that the elections are going to be, I mean, if we just act like everything is okay and we are happy, then they're going to steal the next election too. We've got to stop that.
Well, you see, you were worrying about the future, and it is okay for you to think about the future and to plan for the future. But the statement as you have made it is a very negative one. So you are anticipating the worst in the future. Now you have to figure out what you can do to ensure that perhaps the elections will be more fair. If you believe they have been unfair and that there was cheating going on, you have to take the actions that are necessary. For you who are a bit of a political activist, it is up to you to join with others to try to get some of the laws changed in your state to make sure that what happened in this last election does not happen again. There are things that you can do. And so it is up to you to try to create those actions that will prevent this from happening again.
Okay.
And whatever your belief is, if you believe that the voting machines were inaccurate or that the procedures were not properly followed, it is up to you to create with other people's creative actions, create procedures that will ensure that everything will be fair, to instigate changes in the legislature of your state to make sure that everything will happen fairly. I know that they should not have happened the way that they happened and that they violated things wrong within the state. But you have to figure out what actions you can take which will prevent that in the future, and not just hope that someone else will do it or that some magical way will come about. Do you understand?
I'm going to find out. Thank you. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Are there other questions?
I just had a question on something my daughter said to me, which didn't make sense, but I told her I would ask you. She told me that when you're in spirit and animals are in spirit, that still some of the spirits have to take care of the animals because they can't take care of themselves.
Oh, well, she is wrong.
I thought so.
When you are in spirit, there is nothing to be taken care of because it is only the physical aspects of the bodies that need to be taken care of and nurtured. So once you get to spirit, there is no need for food. There is no need for water or nourishment. You have already instant companionship of everyone that you choose to join as your companion. And as the animals are on a much simpler spiritual plane, I will put it that way, they have the company of other animal spirits like themselves, and there is no need for anything to take care of them. They are whole and complete within spirit. We are all whole and complete in spirit. There is nothing that you need once you enter into spirit.
I thought so. I don't think she can conceive of a world where people have nothing to do.
It is extremely difficult for people on the physical plane to think of a world in which there is no time. Mm-hmm. So that there is nothing to do, because doing infers or alludes to a sense of time and accomplishment. So when you are just in a state of existence, there is no time, and so therefore there is nothing to do. You may think of it like as being asleep if you wish. There is no time while you are sleeping. Your mind is stilled. Your subconscious mind is busy, and it is having a life, and it is expressing and commenting on the life that has been experienced in the physical. So therefore, it is active and aware. And this is the closest I can give to being in spirit as an example. When you are asleep, your mind is not active, but your conscious mind is not active. You are not thinking in the same way. However, your subjective mind is busy.
Okay, sounds good.
You're welcome. And yes, it is very difficult for people to understand what it's like to be in spirit.
It's a
Are there
much
other
easier
questions?
life than this one.
Excuse me?
It's a much easier life than this one.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And you can see the future and the past, and you can see how everything works together. There is much knowledge and understanding. And your growth, when people grow in spirit, people wonder about that. How can you grow in spirit when you are able to know everything? And it is more like saying you can know everything, but you do not know everything at once. So your growth occurs as you pursue understanding in different areas and different realms and embracing more and more ideas and people, so that you are continually growing. But it is not, and that is the growth that is experienced in spirit. It is a change. When you first enter into spirit, you are at first more concerned with your life review and what you have accomplished, what you have done to others, how things work together, and you see all your misunderstandings and you see all your successes and your relationships that worked and why the relationships that didn't work happened. And you grow in your understanding of yourself. And then you begin to grow in the understanding of the physical world and how that acts and works more fully. And everything, even those that weren't concerned with you directly, you begin to know and understand about those things. And that is the growth, how you grow while you are in spirit. And as you grow enough, when you decide that you would like to reincarnate, perhaps you will try to bring all that knowledge, information, and understanding with you to use in your new life. And while that is there within you because of your growth in spirit, the facts of your physical life quickly come to dominate that which you already know. As much as you've been told that all the answers that you need are found within yourself, you do not find them. You rarely look within to contemplate fully the answers that you need. That is because the exteriorness of your physical body and the words and the actions and the realms around your physical body are dominating your conscious mind. And so you are not allowing yourself to open up to that which you already know. Now, many people do seek the answers and within themselves, and they question and they answer and they seek to know with a desire when they are conscious. And then when they go to sleep at night, the subjective mind, also called your subconscious mind, can bring your information that you already know to the surface of your mind and communicate it to that conscious mind through your dream state or other communications. And so this is what growth in the physical and on the spiritual plane is all about, and is rarely understood. Even though you have been told you have all the answers within yourself, you still do not seek it and have the patience to work at bringing those answers forward into your conscious mind. But know that it is possible for you to answer all questions and gain understanding of anything that you seek to gain understanding of when you look within yourself. Are there other questions?
Is on a small scale, is that kind of like when they tell you, like when you're trying to figure out a difficult problem or something, they tell you to sleep on it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That is an expression that has worked many times for many people. It is
Yes.
important just to sleep on it. Think about it as much as you can, but eventually put it to the side and just sleep on it and allow the knowledge to manifest within your mind. It works extremely well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I've got a question about karma,
Yes.
and I'm trying to express the question. How can you tell if you are karmically clear of past relationships with someone that you might have had a disharmonious relationship with in the past? You haven't seen them for a very long time, and you don't know who they are. I mean, you don't know where they are or anything. But is there an internal meter within you, just talking about what you just said? Is there like an internal way of knowing that you're free and clear, or anything that you need to do, or is it just a matter of complete forgiveness, of forgiving them at some point?
Well, yes, of course. It is a matter of, you use the term complete forgiveness. Perhaps it is, perhaps forgiveness. Well, that is fine to use that term. And how to tell if you are karmically clear? Well, how do you feel when you think about this person? Are you still angry over things that might have happened? Are you unhappy over things that might have been in the past? Or do you still feel resentment or tension when you enter into this person's presence? What is your emotional reaction to the situation? If you are calm, if you are clear, if there is no resentment, if there is just acceptance at the moment of this person, that they, and the belief that they are a good person, and you know this to be true, you have probably eliminated any karmic relationship that you may have had that might have been destructive to you. So it's best to see how you react when you think about them. How do you feel? For that is the indication. And when you are neutral in how you feel about them, then it is my understanding and it is my belief that that is a good indication that you have already forgiven them and let go of anything that is that might have caused a karmic situation for you to need healing in the future.
So the follow-up question to that is with there are two parties involved in this relationship. One has moved on to a point where they've moved into this place of being neutral, so to speak, and beyond it, more or less. The other party has not let go and either exacerbates it or continues that, whatever it is that they're doing. So what happens to the karmic relationship at that point?
Well, if one of the parties is holding on to things that happened in the past between the two parties, they have not gotten rid of the karmic situation, and they will still have to work on that. Now, as for the party who may be okay and have moved beyond it and forgiven and forgotten what has happened, and has tried to handle things in the best way possible, we will look into the next life. While they will probably still have a relationship, one of them, the person who has put it behind them and has gotten rid of any karmic difficulties, will then be neutral in this situation and will not have to deal with unpleasantness from the party who still chooses to have the karmic problem between the two of them. Do you understand what I am trying to say? For it is possible where people behave badly or act badly, and you can simply look at them and not react in a way that gives you a karmic relationship. You can be neutral over this situation. You may even think pitying thoughts like, this person, why are they upset? Why are they causing these difficulties for themselves? I hope this person takes care of themselves and they resolve their difficulties. But you do not get involved. And so you are not unhappy in the situation. You remain separate on an emotional level, and you are perhaps only helpful and supportive as best that you can, as you would be with anyone in your life with whom you have no karmic relationship. Do you understand?
Mhm.
And that would be in the next life, or even later in the same life. If you have moved beyond situation and you still have someone getting angry with you for something that has happened in the past, and you do not get upset over the fact, you just feel pity perhaps that they are continuing to be unhappy over something that can no longer be changed, and that was and that you have done your best to forgive and to ask for their forgiveness, then that is their problem. It is not your problem, and you do not have a karmic relationship any longer. Are there any other questions?
Well, just a finer point again. So what you're saying, what I'm seeing here is that it's really, well, it's a state of the mind to a degree, the conscious or subconscious mind, what you pay attention to most. If you're too busy having a wonderful life to notice any problem, then there's no problem. There's no karma.
Of course.
So that's the focus. Just focus on having a wonderful life and there's no karma.
Yes, be in the now. It has been the source of my lecture. Yes, to be in the now and to live your life as best that you can in the moment, and to be happy over the good opportunities and things, to be patient and loving and caring when there are difficulties going on. You're reacting in the best possible way, in a non-karmic way, to bring about the best life possible for yourself and the other person involved. Yes, be in the now and just make today the best day that you can, because this is the only time that you have. You have heard this over and over again. You cannot change yesterday, and tomorrow hasn't come yet. All that you have is today. And so if today you are happy, there is no karmic attachments. You are not causing karmic problems for others. They may be causing karmic problems for themselves, perhaps because they judge you and make you unhappy, or make themselves unhappy over your actions. But that does not mean that you have a karmic tie with them any longer. It depends whether you are acting in your highest and best good, as good as you can, and in the best way possible, ethically and morally. You can only do the best that you can. And it is important for people, when you are speaking about karma, to realize that once you have confronted the situation in your own mind and realized what you have done wrong, or the way you are thinking is incorrect, and if you can change that perspective and perception, the karma can be instantly erased, because you are not causing yourself any more unhappiness by your thoughts and your actions, your judgments. You are causing yourself neutrality and just knowing that all is well. And this does not affect you. It is not something you need to be reacting to in any way. It doesn't concern you even once you have moved beyond it. Once you see what it is, what you did wrong, you perhaps make apologies, you may try to take an action, but perhaps it is best to leave it alone and allow what was to be. You cannot change what was, and you do not have to change it in the now or for the future. You simply need not to do it again. Are there other questions? Well, no one is speaking up. I do not know how we are on time.
Oh,
So,
Someone's speaking.
oh, hello.
yes,
Hi. This is
hi.
Renee. I don't know if you remember me. Well, I used to know you, Norma. I know you as Norma and Ron Carr. I've come to your sessions before, but I haven't been involved in the church in a while now. But I'd like to come back at some time. I'm a teacher and I've been very busy. And the question that I have, it really has to do with this virus that's here now, the coronavirus. And it has to do with the fact that we've been teaching virtually for a little bit now, and we have to go back into school, which I don't mind because I do like to see my kids. And I know it's important that the kids do see us. My only concern is the infection rate is high now. And I'm very concerned because I have an elderly parent and my husband is compromised. And I'm just concerned that I might get something and bring it to them. So I want to know how safe all of this is. And this is a perfect, you know, perfect session you had today, live in the now. But I'm kind of concerned about, I don't know how I can live in the now because my stress level is going through the roof now over everything. So do you have any pearls of wisdom?
If you, may I have your first name, please?
It's Renee.
Renee.
Yes.
Thank you for coming, Renee.
Thank you.
If you are stressed, it is because you are making comments and your judgments within your mind of how you would like things to be different. And I assume that almost everyone would like things to be different because your lives have been very turned upside down and changed over a time. And you are, as you say, a teacher, and now they're going to change things again, and you are both happy and you are worried about it, or you are contemplating that which is possible difficulties. So you are living in fear over what may come. And this is anticipation of negative things that you do not want and come to bring into your life. And so it behooves you to try to change those thoughts with conciliatory type phrases, saying that all is well, I am healthy. I will not be bringing home any diseases to my husband because I am healthy. The transmission rate from student to teacher is extremely low. This is known to be true. And that the transmission rate between children is not as extensive as it is between older adults. So therefore, I am safe. And repeating to yourself these type of phrases, even if you do not believe them to be true at this time, will slowly bring that foundation under yourself to bring you into a better space with less stress. I have the opportunity to see my students and work with each one of them again. And I know that we will all be well and healthy and better for the experience. And of course, they are seeking to make the vaccines available to teachers shortly. And you will need to step up and take yourself the vaccine as soon as it is possible for yourself. And you mentioned your husband is compromised. Well, then it is important for him to get the vaccine, and he should take whatever actions he needs to get the vaccine so that this is not a source of worry for yourself. But the most important thing for you to remember is that what you think about, you attract to yourself. So if you were constantly worrying about the possibility of your bringing home illness yourself. And remember, it is not something that you can just bring in. You will have to get sick first. It is not something that sticks to your clothes or remains on you in some way that you can take it home from school and your husband would get sick, but not you, or your parents would get sick, but not you. So that, you will get sick too. So therefore, I will be healthy. I know that this is not going to be a problem for me because, and you will continue to give yourself as many statistics that stress the fact that teachers rarely pick up this virus from their students. In those areas where schools have gone on naturally, there has not been a high incidence of transference from students to teachers or teachers to students. It just has not happened. And that is what you need to reassure yourself, that this has not happened, it's not going to happen, and you can't even say it. It's as it has not happened. You need to put it as a positive statement that I am well, all teachers are well, because you are specially granted immunity. And hold that belief that you have been granted special immunity from this virus by the nature of the virus. It does not wish to infect teachers and children. It has other prey, and people become infected in whichever way that they become infected. But have a positive thought of how well and healthy and how safe it is for you to do what is expected of you. I'm assuming they are going to ask you to continue to wear masks while you are teaching, and that your students may be wearing masks, and that this is one of the reasons why it will not be transmitted as much as it could be or has done in other populations. When you bring someone who is sick into a nursing home, in which everyone else is there because they have difficulties and problems, then that infection is going to spread most naturally. And it was a very bad decision for someone to make, or it should be most obvious that they should not have put those people in that space. So that is what you need to do to help allow yourself to be less tense and stressed over the situation, because tension and stress brings on illness in your life. And it may not bring on the virus, but it can bring on other things which are very difficult for yourself. It could bring on a heart attack or a stroke or just an infection of some other kind. And this could make it very difficult for yourself physically, even though you never get the virus. So know that stress in general is not beneficial to yourself. So therefore you need to remain as unstressed as you can possibly be. And that is what my recommendation is for you, and to be very happy with, as you have said, you enjoy seeing your children, and that you will be able to teach your children in person. And by doing so, you know that they will be learning the subject, and you will feel good about that. You do not have that opportunity for direct feedback as you normally have. And so you cannot even tell if you are successful when you are teaching over remotely, as the phrase is. It is not helpful to teachers, and it is not helpful to students. And so you soon will be able to be effective, and that is important for yourself. So my advice is get the vaccines, have your parents, your husband get the vaccines, and know that you will be healthy regardless of what happens. And that is really the best way to ensure that you are well. I see you have given it a thumbs up.
Thank you. That was extremely helpful. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. It is my pleasure to speak with you in this evening, Renee. Are there other questions that someone may have.
I probably shouldn't ask this, but are you encouraging people to take the vaccine because mentally they will then be in a better place and better able to fight the virus, or because it physically is going to do something?
Well, it physically will do something for the majority of people. It will help your immune system recognize the virus should it come into your body. And it may be able to fight the virus without having further medications or having other manifestations of illness. So it does not matter whether you take it because it will make you feel better and make you feel safer. It will do that. It does not matter the reason you take it, because it is going to help you no matter what your reason for taking it. I don't want to transmit this disease to anyone else, so therefore I will take the vaccine, and then that will stop me from developing symptoms. My body will fight the virus before it has an ability to manifest symptoms, before it has the ability to take over the body. That is essentially what a vaccine does for you. It helps your immune system to recognize the invaders that you don't want to have. And it has worked perfectly well for children in many ways. Those old children's diseases, which no longer cause difficulties, such as mumps and measles. These children are safe from these diseases now because they have been vaccinated. You have all gotten your smallpox vaccines, or if you are old enough, if you are much younger, you may not have gotten one because smallpox has been mostly eradicated because everyone got their vaccinations, which stopped them from getting the disease. And so there are many diseases which once were a scourge upon the population, which now have no impact because they have been weakened. Some of the diseases still need booster shots, such as your tetanus. Yes, and sometimes typhoid and other things that may help. And you have recently come up with many new vaccines which help protect you from the scourges that used to come about, such as the one that is related to chickenpox, shingles.
Shingles, yeah.
Yes, that is now available, while it was a very common problem for older people who experienced chickenpox when they were children, and then suddenly it comes forth in a new form which causes them a great deal of pain, and called shingles. And now they have ways of helping to suppress that manifesting in your body if you take the vaccine. So it doesn't matter why you take this vaccine. If it is going to help your body fight the disease as soon as it enters, it may never take over your body, and you may never show symptoms. And so you will never have been able to infect other people. And that is what will bring about what we call the herd immunity for everyone, or so many people have had the disease or been vaccinated against it, that there is very little opportunity for the vaccine or the infecting agent, the virus, to find a host that can allow it to thrive any longer.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Are there other questions? And while it is still early, since there seem to be no other questions, I think then perhaps it is time for me to say goodnight. So this is the time to speak up if you have a question. Well, it has been my pleasure to be with you in this evening, and so I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I am back. Okay, it's me, Juana. So is anybody got a question for me?
Thank you.
Hello, please leave a message after the tone.
Well, it appears that no one has a question anymore either. So, well, remember, I love you all. Good night.
Good night.